Now, let me be clear right off the bat. I love Smash Bros. I have played it so much. I have functionally all of the DLC. I played Ultimate. I've played a little bit of Wii U. I've played Brawl. I've played Melee. I've played the original. But we shouldn't get another Smash Brothers. And I'm going to tell you why. Because think about it. The whole point, the whole selling point, the entire marketing for Ultimate was everyone is here. It's that everything that people have been asking for years and years and years and years, we're finally getting. We're getting all the characters back. We're getting most of the maps back. Most of the stages back. We're getting most of what people wanted, what people asked for, what people requested in characters. So what's next? You know? I mean, I'm nowhere near the first person to say this, but what comes after Ultimate? If the entire game is being was sold on the point that this is the one, this is the cream of the crop, this is the coup de grace, this is the Smash Bros. Game, you can't really go anywhere after that. And especially given the way development works, it shouldn't. With the amount of time and effort that that Sakurai and HAL and Bandai Namco and everyone else involved has to put into these games, there's no reason for them to make another one. We have everything. I mean, give me a genuine gaming icon that's not in Smash in some form, right? We have Sans, we have Master Chief, we have Cuphead, we have Vault Boy, even if there is costumes. We have Sora. We have Sora. We have Banjo-Kazooie. We have Joker from Persona. We have, we have all these characters. Pretty much everyone that people were asking for years and years and years and years. And we got pretty much all of the stages back that had been shuffled in and out over time. There's nowhere to go. And we shouldn't just be begging for another game because, new console. And, we want a new one. No, that shouldn't be the case. Just because we have a new console doesn't mean that we need a new game. We don't need a new Smash Brothers game. And quite frankly, it would be detrimental if we got one. Because it would be way too much stress on the developers, who frankly don't have an idea. Because what idea do you do after you've done Ultimate? You cannot surpass what's meant to be the accumulation of everything else. That's the problem. I mean, what? Are you going to put in Bubsy? Are you going to be putting in Conquer? Are you going to put in the fucking car from Gran Turismo? No. Eco? Kratos? No, you're not. Because first of all, they don't own half of those. And that'd be a lot of negotiation. But second of all, how many people would care? The reason they put Steven is because that's someone that people had been asking for years and years and years. They put Sora in because people had been begging on their hands and knees for years to put Sora in. Same with Sans and Vault Boy and Master Chief and the other costumes. Banjo was a nod to, people who are somewhat involved in the retro scene and remember and know and said, hey, they should use them. Because, frankly, Microsoft doesn't. So, you can't make another Smash Bros. Game, and they shouldn't try. Because there's nothing to do. So, trying to make a new one is only going to put some stress on the developers that they really don't need for no reason. Because all they can do is put in maybe some new characters or take them out. I think if they want to, if they really, really wants to make a new Smash Brothers game, what they have to do is remove characters, remove Echo Fighters, get a core roster down. You know? Like, of course, you're going to be including a lot of Nintendo characters. Even some that I personally wouldn't include. But, Terry, I'm really sorry to SNK, but we don't fucking need Terry. We really don't need Joker. I'm sorry, Atlas. You don't need Joker. You don't need, 3 different Echo Fighters. You don't need Hero. You really don't need Pyramithra. As much as I love to play them, you don't need them. So if you want a new Smash Brothers game, you shouldn't be asking for them to make something better than Ultimate. What you should be asking for is for them to make a new experience from the ground up. Take the best parts of the roster that we have now, the post-DLC roster, cut off the fat, bring it in, and then make something. Sonic, Mega Man, of course. The actual gaming icons, of course. Bring them right in. But, Ice Climbers, 3 different Samuses, Dr. Mario, Terry, Joker, Hero, Marth, no. They're really unnecessary. Are they cool? Sure. Great to have them in there. Great to have the series recognized, even though Fire Emblem doesn't really need more. But there's too much. And if they want to do more, they can't just put in every single character. They need to get rid of the ones that don't really have a reason to be there. Like Mario, obviously, yes, of course, you're going to have a lot of Mario characters. It's Nintendo. And you're going to have a bunch of Pokemon, whatever. But you don't need, 5, you don't need Dr. Mario. You don't need Sheik when you have Zelda. You can just do a switch, like Pyramithra. Same with Dr. Mario and Mario. You don't need 20 fucking Fire Emblem characters. You don't need... as much as Persona is a good series, I don't think that it really has that same level of recognition that most other games in there have, So you need to get rid of what, frankly, doesn't qualify. Though I will say that in some cases, maybe developer representation is fine. SNK was a very integral part, especially in the late 80s, early 90s. In that period of games, yes, they deserve some representation. So, you know what? Terry's fine. Even if I don't think he as a character should be in there, SNK, for their contributions to the industry as a whole, I think do deserve to be included. But not most of these other ones, Does Atlas make good games? Yes, of course they do. But have they done anything to push the industry forward? Have they released a console or consoles that have had some significant impact, or games that have had a significant cultural impact? As fun as games like Persona are, do they have any lasting cultural contributions? The same way that, Neo Geo, because, they own a lot of that, or Nintendo has, just in general, or Sega, or Capcom, or, Konami when they're not busy shooting themselves in the foot, or any of these other developers. And I know that logic's flawed, because by that logic, really, you shouldn't have Banjo-Kazooie, because really, what has Rare done other than make a few games that, people with brown hair, white skin, glasses talk about? It's just an archetype. Oh, Banjo-Kazooie, blah, blah. Microsoft bought Rare, Nintendo. They stole from Nintendo, and then they didn't make any games ever again. Like that's what you hear. Go to Scott DeWaz, go to Nathaniel Bandy. You get that same line. Because frankly, that's just the line, you know? Brown hair, usually white, with glasses. They always say the same thing. It's a hive mind. No. But I'm not saying that you can't hope for a new game or for a better game or for a worse game. You can ask for and you can call for whatever you want, but you have to think critically and be realistic about what your expectations would be and what would actually be fair, A, to the developers, and B, what would make the game worth it. It wouldn't be fair to ask for another game that has everything plus these things that I want just because you want them. Like, yes, of course, that's a reason. Like, that's a reason to want it, but that's not really a motivation for a game. You know? Smash Ultimate was made because they wanted to be the accumulation, what everything else was building up to, what Smash 64, Melee, Brawl, Wii U 3DS had been building up to. And you have that. You have these characters that people begged and pled for years and years and years. Even though there are some missing, Crash, Spyro. That's kind of it. Like Crash, Spyro, and other, older gaming icons. But other than them missing, that's really it. And making a new game just to include a few extra characters, when the roster is already overextended, it already takes so much work to make sure everyone works on every single stage. That's not really necessary. You need to be realistic. People need to consider the fact that, am I asking for this because I think it'll be a good game, or is it just because I personally want it? And that's why I'm saying, if they want to do a new Smash Brothers game, either they just don't do it at all because they don't need to, or they can't try to build on what they have. They need to start with a new foundation. Maybe take one or two structural support pillars from Ultimate, but in general, the game would have to be its own unique creation, or there's no point to it. And why make a game if there's no point? If you don't believe in the product you're making, then that just makes you a slop developer. And I don't think we want Nintendo to do that, because that's a dangerous path for any company to go down. I mean, if Nintendo starts doing slop, then what are we going to get? More bullshit mobile games? $80 nonsense on the Switch too? Some even worse bullshit from Game Freak? I mean, where does it end? So ask for games with purpose. That's my point. And that's all I got. Bye.